All right. What is going on, everybody? This is your homie BTactics, and we got some bit fried news. So this is not like me twiddling around. They're giving us information. If you pay enough attention, if you pay attention to some of the streams I have out, because I do stream Ultimate Rivals, but now it's moving to Infinite Victory. Still trying to get used to the sound of Infinite Victory, right? But we got something. Probably hear the music in the background. But hey, we got my man Shempy here. Oh, it's not Shempy? Oh, well, it sounds like Shempy. Okay. Sounds like Shempy. I made a mistake. But let's listen to what might be the direction of this game for the future.
Anyway, here's the idea. I'm going to speed it up because that one was dragging on anyway.
Okay.
So, the gist is, I think the UGC is awesome. I still think we need structure.
Now, UGC, before we get any further, I just want y'all to know what that is. We're going to play through that, right? UGC is user-generated content, just in case, because I didn't know personally. I had to figure that out myself. All right. Let's say
anyway, here's the idea. I'm going to speed it up because that one was dragging on anyway. So, the gist is, I think the UGC is awesome. I still think we need structure around it to give players more incentive to want to do it and to just funnel players back into it.
Okay, so I'm getting right here. They want us to make content within the game. What kind of content? I'm not sure. We're going to get into it, but I'm assuming character creation, court creation, rule creation. I think they're gonna give us a basic structure of basketball, and then from there we can move on. Like, I don't know if you guys played like NBA Street. You was able to make your own customizable court on Volume 3. Loved that, right? There was a game, NBA Playground, you can make your court too. And in NBA Live, you was able to have custom rules in your court. You can also make a court there, and a customizable player. I think that's the direction they want to go, but let's listen more.
So the idea is, it's similar to what I had this idea before with Hall of Fame athletes. So
Hall of Fame athletes are not like Hall of Fame like on 2K. They mean Hall of Fame as like legend players. Let's keep listening.
But it's based around the narrative. So the idea is there's this evil AI Ultramind thingy, and it is ravaging the cyberspace or whatever the reason that we don't like it.
Okay, so I'm getting this. There's a big evil AI, and we're in a cyberspace playing a game. That's why the game looks futuristic. Because I was wondering why it always looked futuristic. It's not the fact it's quote futuristic. We're like in a Matrix. I like that. So we're in the Matrix. We got an evil AI, and they're trying to take over the Matrix. Well, not the Matrix, but the area.
Is that so? Anyway, that doesn't matter. But what matters is each episode or season or whatever structure we want, however long we want them to last. Each season, the Ultramind is threatening, all of cyberspace or whatever, and the players have to team up to take it down. It's kind of like that group goal thing that you had, where it's like score 500,000 points and we unlock the next node. Except instead, it's you have to take down this Ultramind, and you can't do it. And the licensed athletes can't do it on their own because they're living in its world, right?
Wait a minute. All right. That's information we wanted to know. We wasn't sure. That is 100% guaranteed. They said the licensed players cannot take down this evil AI because they are living in that world. So now it's like we're not in the world, but we are in the world. So I guess we're logging in like like we play video games normally. We log into the game, we make a character that can be based off ourselves, and there's going to be seasons or events that we're going to be playing. They say score a certain amount of points, and we're damaging this AI, I guess, by scoring. So when we play the game, when we're scoring and someone else is scoring, anybody scoring, we are damaging this big AI. That doesn't mean don't play defense. I promise y'all, if there's somehow 3v3 and you say, yeah, I won't play defense because I want to damage this thing. I do not want to lose because y'all talking about damage and AI. No, I want to win. We'll just play more games. It's okay. Let's listen.
So that's where the splicer comes in.
Splicer.
They're like, we need your help to defeat this evil, but we can't do it. It's literally against our programming. Like
I don't know what splicer is, but now these characters in there, the licensed characters, it's against their programming. So our character won't be have anything against that. I've been playing something like that on Sword Art Online recently. There's a story like your character, well, the main character comes into the game, but they're from the real world, and the user-generated characters there cannot go against the code that's in the game, but we can. I like this idea. I don't know who or what Splicer is. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Asimov's laws or whatever. So you need to splice together these athletes using their DNA.
Okay. We were just told we're gonna be able to create characters based on DNA. So I'm assuming, maybe you want to be like LeBron. You can have LeBron's DNA for if it was based on dribbling, I don't know if it dribble because the licensed character didn't have dribble, it had dunk and some block. So maybe you can get like the dunking of LeBron James, the shooting of Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, you thought I was saying another basketball player. Maybe you got defense of Kelly on the game. Maybe you got a bomb arm like Russell Wilson for the 3-pointer. Okay, I'm liking this. Maybe we can choose different Infinity specials too. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a name for the meter that comes up. I don't know yet.
And then challenge it. And now the way you
can't
do it, it's literally against our programming, like one of Asimov's laws or whatever. So you need to splice together these athletes using their DNA.
So we're gonna get the DNA.
And then challenge it. And now the way you challenge it basically is just by playing. So you play in other people's home courts, you play in other people's rule sets, whatever. And just like at the end of a match, you might get, you'll have your 3-point average and your blocks or whatever, your stats. You'll also have like the damage that you did to Ultramite.
Okay, so we know now we do have to create a character. There will be some sort of court customization in a ruling. So I'm thinking if we're making something like that, and if this is an online game, which I was told it was, they said it was, they wanted to be online. Obviously, it has to be online because we're all doing damage together to the Ultraman. So we can go to other players' courts with different rules, and it'll be a different character. Now, I don't know if you can make one character, maybe 3 characters, because you're on the court, so you got to have 3 characters in your team. I don't know if you can use these licensed players, so you're going to have to make 3 characters, because you can't play 3v3 basketball by yourself, unless they're telling us it is multiplayer, and you make one character, and you have to find other characters or generic characters, or you invite people to the court or where you're going. That'd be nice. What do I mean by that? I'll say it again. If I can create only one player and I can only use that character, that means it has to be multiplayer with other players to work together. Or it could be 1v1, but then, one player versus another player. You have to have a team of 3, but you'll have to make 3 characters because the user-generated characters cannot attack, the evil AI. It can't do it. So we have to have more custom characters. At least that's what I'm hearing here, unless I'm wrong. Let's hear out some more.
Just from playing.
Okay.
And the idea is that at the end of a season, the athletes that contributed the most damage, the 3 athletes or however many athletes we want to do, we can...
Right there, that's how you know we got to be able to make at least 3 characters. Because these are the 3 most athletes, right? Now you can say, 3 different players, but I think it's the one team they're talking about. But they want to make sure it stays open, so in case they have a 6-player multiplayer, or maybe it's 3 people going to a gauntlet and play against other players, generated characters. That'd be cool. I still think just having 3 different players against AI, at least for an event, Or 6-player multiplayer. I still like the 6-player multiplayer. I don't know how the servers will stand with 6 players playing at once. I don't know. But hey, I'm all for ideas.
Really do however many we want. They become Hall of Fame athletes. They're canonized.
Wait a minute. That changed everything. So this is how we're gonna get more players. So wait. So maybe we are only making 1 player. Maybe it's still 3. But whoever wins the event, their players will be canon. Real players, part of the story. That means, so let's say you're using a character. Let's say you name your character, I don't know, BTactics. That's me, right? You play. You become a Hall of Famer. BTactics is now part of the story. So now anyone can choose BTactics. That might be kind of scary. What if I make an OP character and they can become canon and people are using BTactics against me and they have their own player? That's gonna be tough. But that'll be competition. I like it. Let's hear more.
So that means that other players, they're like stock athletes. They're BitFry Players Association athletes, right?
Okay, so we know they're gonna have generic athletes now. Okay, the question has been answered. There's gonna be generic BitFry athletes. I don't know. I mean, I played the game, so I'm assuming the 3 players we win against in the time attack will be 3 of the generic characters. That's cool. That's great. Want to hear more now? Let's keep it listening.
So all players can now unlock them, and they're like part of the story, and they're part of the history of the game. So that was like, I took that idea from the tournament thing that we were talking about before that you didn't really like.
All right, so there was talking about a tournament. I know nothing about the tournament. I think there's a tournament from like the iPhone. I couldn't play in the tournament. So we know there's gonna be BitFry characters. We can make the characters canonized and the other players can use them. We know that. Let me make sure I heard that right.
They're BitFry Players Association athletes, right? So all players can now unlock them, and they're like part of the story, and they're part of the history of the game.
Okay, so that means whoever's winning this season, the character will be accessible for everyone to be part of the game. They might be implemented in the story later on. That's kind of scary because what if I'm playing and then I have an evil side of me and then a non-evil side? That's kind of cool. Anything can happen. I don't know the story, okay? I'm on the outside looking in just like you guys. So this sounds cool. So we know we can have custom characters guaranteed and they could be placed in the story so other players can play against them. And what modes, we don't know, but let's keep listening.
So that was like, I took that idea from the tournament thing that we were talking about before that you didn't really like, but because I think that aspect of it is really compelling. It's like, why should I go do all these cool UGC things? Well, because if you're good enough, your athletes, and you're good enough and like, you manage to extend their lifespan, right? Like, because we said that they're going to have a lifespan.
Lifespan, that's kind of scary. So that means my character can die? Does the AI die? Like, does that evil AI have a lifespan? Because I don't like the fact that I got a lifespan. I make a character, I can only use them X amount of times. That's almost like a player contract. I'm not gonna lie, I used to hate that they had player contracts. You use them for X amount of time, then you can't use them no more. That almost tells me I have to always be creating characters, which I'm all for creating characters, you know, but if they become part of the story, I can lose the character, but then I can still see the character. I hope that's not the case because I don't want to see my character come back, you know, from the dead and they can play, but I can't use them. I'll be pissed. My fault. Let's keep it going.
Then those athletes will be become canon. Okay, so that's the first part. And then the second part is, okay, so it's like, if you like the athlete splicer and you're working with athletes, it's like, okay, if I'm good enough, I can make...
Okay, splicer is definitely the character customization. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just telling y'all. I'm so sorry. It's the custom characterization. Okay.
Make my imprint on this game forever, right? Cool. Now, we still have the other two pieces.
Wait, let's run
and then the second part is, okay, so it's like, if you like the athlete splicer and you're working with athletes, it's like, okay, if I'm good enough, I can make my imprint on this game forever.
Right.
Cool. Now, we still have the other two pieces of UGC, right? We have the courts and the modes. I'm considering those separate. I know that you sort of conflate them sometimes, or maybe it's me who conflates them. I forget, honestly, but
honestly, I want the court to be with the rules. I want whatever court you unlock, you have to play by those rules. Now, you end up buying it yourself, you can change it. But I always want it to be the rules are spot onto that court. I would like, because that means that home court is iconic for that style of play. I think that would be better. Again, if you want to change the rules, nothing against it. But I just feel like if you go to that court, whoever owns that court, like you can probably take like a template from it, but you got to be able to have that one court with those sort of rules, and you go there. Maybe you can bring some homies over there and say, "Yo, we want to play on that court because they got the cool rules and a nice way to play, a nice area." I hope they do keep them together in the in this matrix, feeling this cosmos of baller's paradise. I would like that.
So you have the mode editor and the court editor. Well,
dang, okay. Well, I don't mind them being separate because you can still just, place them together. So you have a mode editor, court editor. I kind of hope you can still just, imprint the rules directly onto that court. If you can change them later on, that's cool. But it might be better off how we stay in there. I shouldn't place them together because we got more creativity right there. You know what? That's a good idea. I'm sorry. Let's keep it going.
You can do the exact same thing with the modes and the courts.
Okay.
Each season, based on how many players are playing in your court or how many players are playing your mode, you are accruing ultramind damage. Like, you are contributing just because players are playing with your court or playing with your mode.
Oh, so it's not just rules, it's the actual mode. That's different. So like you can have it like old school mode. Every point gonna be 1 point. Or maybe you have it like oh, did my computer just turn off? But like you have it okay, so we got like old school mode, 1 point. Anyone who choose old school mode, you made that, even though they're doing, the players playing is gonna be doing damage, you're also contributing. I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, so let's say they score like 1 point. Does it mean you made a point and they made a point? I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I'll let them figure it out. I'm just hoping that it works flawlessly. And just like the court, if they score on your court, is that you accumulating damage too? Like, does that mean like, okay, if someone scores a point, is that they scored a point and then you all scored a point? So like y'all both get a point into the damage? I don't know. But I hope that's the case. Because I don't want to be like split in half, you don't want, because then it gives more reason for someone to not want to play on someone else's court. They'll play on their court because they'll get more points accumulated. But if you can go to anyone else's court and you still get 1 point, if you play in your own court, you get 1 point, that means it gives you more incentive to go elsewhere because you play another court. If you get a point and someone else gets a point, that is more points being added in as damage, potentially. So it gives more reason to not play at your home court all the time, but you can still host things at your home court, and if someone else scores it, then you still get the point. All right, let's keep listening.
Okay, so then it's the player whose court contributed the most damage. Well, that court becomes a Hall of Fame court.
Okay, so I guess the court would be considered like part of the main series too, just like a character, and probably the rules too, but let's keep listening.
And is now something that players can just use or unlock or buy or whatever.
Okay.
But like, it's part of the Ultimate Rivals or the Infinite Victory story.
All right.
And same thing with the modes. The more that players play the modes, my mode, if my mode gets the most plays, it contributes the most Ultramind damage for the mode, and my mode becomes Hall of Fame mode. So other players get to play. You see where this is going, right? Mm-hmm. So then the last part, and I think that this is just an added bonus. It doesn't have to be in, right? Just like all the NFT stuff we're talking about. Well,
NFT. I think NFT is like virtual, another form of a virtual currency. It's like part of like blockchain. Huh. Okay. I know that can probably be on PC, on the phone, but I don't know if that works in the system. So how do we play this on the console? Could it be like, okay, you unlock NFT? Could you, instead of being NFT, could it be like virtual currency, and then you can translate it to NFT or something? Because I don't know how that works on console. So right now, if that's how it's playing, it is only on PC and mobile. All right, I don't know how it's gonna go with console, but we'll figure this out.
If those things are NFTs, then those players who created them, the ones that become Hall of Fame, then they can get royalties on players transacting on those athletes, the Hall of Fame athletes, transacting on the Hall of Fame environments, courts, and
so you could play this game and make money point blank. You're playing basketball, you do the most amount of damage, you get paid for it. You can make money off this game. So is this game going to be like for anyone that's over the age of 18? Like, if you're under the age of 18, can you use NFT? Like, I don't know. I didn't even think about that. Huh. All right. I mean, it shouldn't impact too badly. I mean, can you still get on the game and still play? Like, because with NFT, like, do I have to use NFT to make a character? Because I know I played this one game called Axie. You couldn't play Axie unless you actually bought 3 Axies and you had to pay money for them. And they came, to like $1,000. So you gotta have somewhere where someone can, be able to get on the game. You gotta get people on the game. But if you want people to earn revenue, can people now, if they can make revenue from that, could you sell your player? If you could sell your player and make money, could you buy your player from someone else? Like, how else can you make money besides just that now? I don't know. But it still seems like they're not looking for NFT. They're still looking for you to play the game. But I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to buy... Oh, wait. If you keep licensed characters, would it be like another currency in the game besides NFT? So you can buy the character in the game, but if you want to buy custom characters NFT? That might be a good way around things. Let's keep listening.
Transacting on the Hall of Fame modes.
I'm starting to think those characters you create will be Hall of Fame characters, and Hall of Fame characters called NFT. So that means you would need this NFT to buy custom characters. But making your custom character, I didn't hear any cost for it. But buying a Hall of Fame character someone else made, you'd have to buy them. If someone else buys a character, do they get royalty off that? Do they get paid for that? I don't know. Keep listening.
So I think where it all the reason I think it all makes sense, and the reason I think it's actually like a really kind of brilliant breakthrough, is because now, the question is, okay, like my player, that has precedence, I think
it's 2K.
GC as a concept has precedence, but the reality is, and I know I sound like JV, Jesus, the reality is that you still, like, the more reason players have to engage with these things, the more they're going to engage with them.
He's absolutely correct. The more rewards you can get, the more someone wants to play. Especially that's IRL money, potentially, more people are going to want to play. Uh-oh. Could that mean people can gamble NFT now? Ooh. I hope they can't gamble in the game, because I know 2K was having a problem like this, where they was gambling, IRL money on Twitch and stuff like that. And 2K was trying to clamp down on it, but now they don't do it anymore. So I've heard, you can't do these wagers and stuff like that. I don't know how this works. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Because you can still play this on PC, you can play this on phone, but what if people want this on console? I don't see how this gets on console. Because if you're NFT, I don't think NFT PlayStation can get that unless it's an NFT shop in PlayStation. But I don't know. I don't know how that works yet.
And so if you tie it all back into this narrative, and it could be a rolling narrative, it could happen 4 times a year, twice a year, whatever. It's basically a collective goal to defeat this evil thing. And, you know, just like any kind of soap opera or whatever, it can come back every year better and badder and stronger, whatever. It can come back every episode. Like, oh no, we killed it, but 3 more sprouted from it, right?
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
But now there's an incentive on each piece of UGC, like each of the 3 pillars of UGC. There's an incentive that causes players to want to actually get more invested in it and actually want to experiment with the tools outside of their own creativity, which, by the way, is still a really strong driver. Obviously, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Player choice, player creativity. But just adding these few little pieces of structure to it, I think, is really like the bow that ties the whole thing together.
Okay. So what am I getting out of that? You're gonna make a player. I think the player you're gonna make first is gonna be free, because if you need NFT and people don't have NFT to start off, they don't have the incentive to get on the game. So they're gonna have to have that free to make at least one player. Now, how do they implement the other players they have? Like, you know, basketball players, well, licensed players to say, you know, basketball, football, soccer, hockey. They wanted wrestlers. If they go NFT, like, do they still have all these, you know, contracts? I don't know. I don't know how that works. But you get one player and that's free, like, who else is on your team? Like, are you just getting like generic characters and then your character? Because you gotta have at least one character you get to make, and then you're gonna play through this mode to be able to become a legend, a Hall of Famer, so you can make revenue off it. So the only people that can make revenue is the one that's gonna make it to the higher up. Now, players will still play, but I'm already getting the concept, like, no one is gonna want to buy, you know, NFT, because no one knows what NFT is who's really gaming, especially not for the audience you have. I feel like the audience are gonna be, you know, probably people into, like, the free to play is gonna be probably from 8 to maybe mid-20s, because most players, it's probably around my age, go like, why play this if I could play 2K? I don't have to worry about NFT and blockchain and this and that. They think it's a scam. They'll just play 2K. But if the game is free, you can make a free character you can play. It'll at least get them to want to get on. Now, how can they make any NFT or any kind of currency? Because if they can make currency besides NFT, and they can buy, like, you know, a character, whether if you can't buy the Hall of Fame character, I feel like that might sting them a little bit, but you need a character to buy. If they can buy James Harden, to be okay. But if there's no James Harden and they don't have generic, if you have to buy a generic character, you can't customize them. What's the point, right? Most players are gonna be looking for basketball players. So I feel like if you're gonna have a license, you're gonna need a basketball player for that license. But I don't know, like, I don't know an NFT game that's based on, you know, the NBA or the WNBA or any of these things. I don't know. I have no information on this. Have not seen it before. This is really the first time this is happening. So we have nothing. This is the first time, and people might get nervous. But I feel like, even though I wouldn't mind no licensed players, I need some type of players. I don't want to just buy NFT players only. I don't know much about NFT. I'm all willing to learn it, but it will be scary to not know anything and have to use a lot of NFT if someone else isn't playing it, or if it's really like a small community and a small community don't want to buy the characters and then they say the game is pay to win. You're in trouble. We will be in trouble, because I want to play the game. Like, I mean, I played Ultimate Rivals. I played the Time Attack to Infinite Victory. The game is a lot of fun. But with the NFT being around, and you're not going to have the transactions like, you know, the ultimate tokens, it changes things a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they should, would it be a good idea to not go NFT and then make the game cost money? But then for online, you got to pay for something. So I don't know. Like, I was saying this game would have been good at $20 for Ultimate Rivals, but they're trying to add custom characters. Like, I don't know. Hey, Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. This is your homie BTactics. I thank y'all for stopping by, tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. And sorry for taking up a lot of your time. Peace out, everybody.